So Marcel, just take 5 minutes, okay? And whatever. So welcome to the USEF training session. For those of you that were not here last year was our pilot year to test doing our training sessions in public. Before that, they were always done in private, just for riders and the horses and the owners. And it's been our theme and our aim to train more in public, because I think that's so educational. And what is there to hide? There's nothing to hide. These are horses at young ages, 4, 5, and 6, that their lives are ahead of them. Things can change. There's nothing we're hiding. We're developing these horses, and I think that's so important to train openly. So the purpose of these sessions is not always to look for the superstars that we say, this is the horse that's going to go to the Young Horse World Championships. Our program, the Markel Young Horse Program, has a lot of components to it. It's to incorporate people into the program and educate them, breeders, owners, riders, to help showcase the correct development of young horses. It's also to identify and help people figure out, is this the horse that should compete in the young horse classes, or is this the horse that should just go out to regular shows because maybe they're more competitive in the regular tests? Or is this a horse maybe that shouldn't even compete at all and develop it more before you compete it? And thirdly, it's to identify in our pipeline for USEF what horses we think right now that show us, okay, this is really a high-class star horse-rider combination or horse that we keep an eye on it in the pipeline and keep it under our coaches as it goes up the level. And I want to really stress, and I'll say it again tonight, and I'll probably say it again today. I hope you'll get to know me throughout these 2 days. I believe in every single horse. I'm not more inspired by a superstar than I am with just a nice horse. They're all stars in my eyes. And I want to make every single horse the best it can be, period. End of story. If we always want to get caught up in stars, we're going to have a very sad career with horses, because you're not going to have a barn full of stars, period. No one's going to. It's our role as trainers, educators, to make every horse feel like a star and make them as good as they can be. And a horse that goes and competes and peaks out at third level and never goes to Grand Prix, he's not less special than a Grand Prix horse. He has a super role. Maybe he makes that owner really, really, really happy and inspired. This is our job, is to make every single horse that comes in front of us the best it can possibly be. That is our aim, developing young horses. And then finding out the career path that best suits them. Is this a horse that's a high-performance horse that should go out and think about going Prix St. George to Grand Prix? Or is this a horse that's just going to be a star at third level? Great. So Michelle, you said he's pretty green, right? He doesn't look too green so far. Yeah? You're doing awesome so far. Don't use him up for me, okay? When you're ready, give him a walk break. I want to make sure we have enough horse for the work. So, he's a big dude. Come on over here a second. How long's he been under saddle? Okay, so he's really been under saddle since November. How tall? That's just tall. Hey, kid. No, big enough. Okay. And again, you told me a little bit in the lounge when I saw you. So the canter is still very green, correct? Yeah. Okay, so she said he has actually pretty good balance in the canter for a big horse. Okay. Yep. And that has been always, I mean, you started the horse, you told me that in the lounge. It's been in your program, so that's always been something he's chosen? Okay. Okay. okay? And let's let him walk on a long range. Okay, so the two things you, if I remember correctly, you mentioned to me was, one, the grinding, two, this fussiness in the walk, right? Yeah, so there are basically two approaches for that walk, okay? And whichever one you choose is the one you do. Those two choices are to let it be a phase of life, okay, that you don't deal with it. Okay? You just let it be for a little while. And with that choice, you find the time in the ride, late in the ride, when he's more relaxed, that then you ride the walk. Yes? Or you make the choice and say, you know what? He's confident enough. I'm not buying into this. This is a connection thing. This is a mind thing. Maybe he has some anxiety. He's allowed to have some anxiety. So what? He's young. Yeah? But if you choose to train it, you got to train it. There's no middle ground. We have to be clear to him. Okay? I think right now, for as green as he is, I would do the walk after he's worked. Okay? I think that's very fair. And then start, when that gets really good, start to tweak that. You take it earlier in the ride. Does that make sense? That would be my diplomatic approach. I don't think, especially on a young horse, I don't like to really train the walk from the very, very start at his age and his greenness. But I think you have to address it. Because it's just an anxiety, the walk. So the deal is at the walk, if you're not going to train the walk in the beginning, no contact. Really on the buckle, light. And when you pick up the reins, steady. Anytime he feels contact, he's got to know what that is, okay? There's no middle ground. So when you're ready, start to put them together, and let's take a look at your trot work. What I saw already warming up, yeah, you had a good tempo, and for a big horse, he is balanced. What I'd love to do in this set now, okay, is get the feeling you want before you canter. That's up to you what you do. And then I want to see us canter. And when you get to the canter, Michelle, what I'm really after is a good, successful, purposeful canter. Take your time. Take your time. Wait till he relaxes more through the top line. There you go. Now we're there. Good. I like that tempo. No slower. And try not to ride too safe with your leg, okay? Coach him. Now encourage him a little bit. Leg. Inspire him. And then quiet again. And again, encourage him. Come. Leg. A little bit leg. Come. And then quiet. Good. Let him think about the tempo. There, I like it. Plan your transition to trot in balance, any line you want. That's long enough in the canter. He got his canter, it's very good. Balance, good, quite good. Your hand a little bit lower. Easy, don't over-tempo him, careful. That looks to me a little bit there like you're just shoving him too forward, okay? Easy, encourage it and then quiet. Don't think about a constant surge forward. Then he gets flat. Communicate with your leg a little bit, even though he's young. And try to relax the top line a bit more. There, I like that tempo a little bit better now than where you were earlier. He was a little bit too rushed. This is nice. This is nice. Good job. Now, before you canter on the left, do a little bit more work that gets the channel between you a little softer in the neck and in the forehand. He's a little bit stuck. Like a shallow serpentine line. Exactly, a shallow serpentine line. That he's more supple between. That's it. Now back to the left. And if that's consistent, then I would canter. There we go. Good. The left canter is better than the right lead canter. Good. That's the right tempo. Now just communicate with your leg. Press him a little bit there. Come, press. And then quiet. Press him again. Come, inspire him. And then quiet. Soothe him in the reins. There, I like that. That's not too round. You want to think round, that he has the freedom through his top line, that he flows, but that he's still tall in his shoulders and withers. And you have that. That looks really good. A little bit forward again. Press him. And then quiet leg. Good. Never a constant pushing leg. Communicate and then be quiet. Communicate and then be quiet. that he's in cruise control forward without needing to be pushed. Nice transition. Good. Easy, easy, easy. There, there. Good. Love that. Change sides. Let's see if he's that good on the right side. In the frame and in the balance, okay? On the right, early on, he got a little bit stuck and was, for me, too hard on your right rein. I want him really soft in the neck. Try not to get too caught up in bending him right. You can flex him like 1 inch to the right, then straight, and now ride a shallow serpentine down the long side. And just see, how does he trust the connection? Or does he throw his head when you change sides? You want to know that. You want to know that. Good. And so many things change in the horse when you ride that little shallow serpentine line. The pressure on the pole, the bars of the mouth, the balance of the shoulders, the bending of the back. Just real fluid, shallow line. Awesome. And that's done just like that, with no bend. There, he's wonderful. Now he's good in both reins. Yes? Does that feel better? Good. Try not to get talked into suppling him with one hand too long. Good. Then he's out of balance and pulling on the outside rein. One more shallow line like that. Good. And if he would get less consistent because you did that line, then try to stay on one side longer again, and then check on it by doing the serpentine line again. This is great. Can I see sitting trot for like 10 steps? Ride him. Don't sit light. And rise again. Good. If you choose it, you do it. And again, when you're ready, really sitting trot. You want to know, does he take my seat and leg nicely? Good. And rise again. There we go. There he's really carrying himself, Michelle. And serpentine, 1 loop. No problem. You lost him on the left shoulder a little bit? Yeah, no problem. And sit him again at some point. And rise again. So he's been awesome. Let's give him a walk break here. That's pushing the envelope for 1 set. That was plenty. He was great. Now let his mind relax again. Long rein. Don't train the walk yet. Pat him. Very good. So if I could pick on you for a minute, yeah, I know you very, very well for many, many years, okay, so we can pick and we can have some fun, okay? You got a little bit too much into the, when we started after the walk break, it wasn't the case when you were warming him up and I was talking to everybody. He looked great in both reins, okay? But when he started up again on the next trot, he wasn't quite soft enough in the contact. You felt it, you knew it, okay? But I think go a little sooner to changing his body for him with a shallow serpentine line, just to change the pressure points, because I think he was resisting the pressure of the bit on the right side of the bars of his mouth. Okay? And by doing a shallow serpentine line, when you go to the left loop, it's softening already the right pressure point. And then he just trusts that more and comes through it. Yeah? That would be counterproductive if you start shaking his head and you'd lose him. But I think you want to try that sometimes. Okay. That's okay. Yeah. Yeah. It's okay. Yeah. 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 And this is, that's great feedback. So Michelle said, look, I got caught at home. I don't do enough turning. I just go, 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 is what she said. You guys can't hear that. And that leaves me the perfect opportunity to say, this is exactly why you need, we're available to give you eyes, just to catch the program. The horse is confident. You've done a super job. He's confident. Okay? And he's balanced. The advantage for me is I don't know him. I have no history. I just see what I see right now, right? And for me, I'm going, wow, this horse is a big horse. He's got a pretty good engine. I see a pretty good work ethic. I see actually a pretty coordinated big horse. So I wouldn't give you turning stuff if he was all wiggly, and disconnecting and losing his alignment, but you got him pretty lined up, so I'm glad you rode him straight. But now he's ready to leave kindergarten, head to first grade, yeah? Start giving him different books, different lessons. When I mentioned the tempo, that it was a little quick after you cantered, could you feel that? Okay. And tease him a little bit, okay? Not teasing him in a way that picks on him. Teasing him in a way to give him reminders, okay? Let him make a few mistakes from the forward desire, okay? So for example, you come back from the canter, and I think always on big horses like this, I'm a big fan of looking at them in the trot after the canter work because they can really use up their energy in the canter. And they come to the